Before I defend my least favorite joker, I just wanted to thank everyone for watching the Raffle Recontext video. Your comments made me laugh, and there will be another. Not sure how many video essays I will make, but I want to try something different. Enjoy the video. Ceremonial Dagger is one of the few jokers that I've hated since I installed Balatro and have continued to hate as a gold stake player. It requires high maintenance, it can ruin your run, there are jokers that occupy the same role and are easier to use, it isn't flashy enough for interesting white stake runs, it gets in the way of fan-favorite uncommons, and you have to choose between money and scaling molt. Surely anyone who defends this is the greatest Israeli soldier the world has ever known. I still don't like using it, but it's just good to know the use cases for every card in Balatro. Because even the weakest and most situational jokers, planets, tarots, and maybe even Ouija, have a situation in which they're useful. And sometimes jokers that occupy the same niche that would be more optimal will just not show up. After over 300 hours of Balatro on Steam alone, I have finally mastered the blade. I've found runs that were won because of the dagger, even if I only ever buy it out of desperation. I love hating on things I know nothing about, especially Overwatch. However, unlike Overwatch, I know how my least favorite joker works. Ceremonial Dagger is an uncommon joker that deletes the joker to its right, gains additional molt that is twice the deleted joker's sell value. Because of this trait, a strong understanding of joker order is especially important on dagger runs. The main reason I hate on it is because plus molt jokers should stay on the left, so it's easy to accidentally destroy jokers vital to your run because you left the dagger to the left. There's also the fact that it occupies a niche shared by many other jokers, and not all scaling plus molt jokers are created equal. Finally, it's just not easy to choose between saving money and spending money on a joker that will be immediately deleted. Unfortunately, gold stakes difficulty coerces the player into picking their least favorite jokers in order to scrape by, especially with how scarce money becomes. Managing your money in Balatro is a lot like real life. It's a lot harder when you don't start rich, hence why Yellow Deck is generally considered one of the best decks for gold stake runs. Balatro looks like a poker game at first, but the shop is where you climb the steepest learning curve the game has to offer. Management of the in-game economy is what separates gold stake players from people who have a job. The economy is especially difficult to manage when you have to actively spend money in the shop to scale your main source of score if you dare use the dagger. At face value, the dagger forces you to choose between money and molt from entering the shop to selecting the next blind. Except the dilemma between scaling and saving money applies to all jokers of the same niche. The difference is that the choice between score and econ is more obvious with the dagger. Hand-dependent scaling jokers like Ride the Bus, Spare Trousers, and Green Joker My Beloved do not feel like a choice between score and money. You can actively play weaker hands to scale your jokers before the steep line scaling of Purple Stake and Up end your run, but you can also passively scale some. We all know the joy of an anti-1 Grimbo because you can passively scale with each hand without thinking about how you burn $1 per hand while you are actively going for scaling. When you use the dagger, by contrast, the choice between money and molt is always a conscious one. You have to look at the loss of your money rather than ignore the opportunity costs. But if you're mindful of the economy, passive and active scaling are more similar than different. These passive and active jokers have their share of similarities and occupy the same niche of scaling score, but there are still upsides and downsides that are worth consideration. There has already been discussion about when to throw hands away for scaling, but I've never seen anyone distinguish how scaling jokers encourage different playstyles. Not from what I've seen at least, I haven't seen much. But either way, I made a chart to explain what I mean. I will be brief with the passive scaling jokers because the dagger does not fit the category. Generally speaking, these passive jokers are very spammable, low maintenance, and take a lot of smaller hands to score highly. As for the active scaling jokers, there is more emphasis on the shops. One could argue that some cards fit one category or another, or that my dichotomy of linear scalers is oversimplified. But the dagger is without question one that requires more active decisions to scale, because unlike ones that scale based on hands played, you aren't required to use the shop. The fact that Ceremonial Dagger scales depending on decisions made in the shop means that you'll gain molt regardless of how many hands you have or the type of hand played. Hand independence means that discards become more useful. You can earn money from saved hands, and fix a deck toward a 4 of a kind or 5-card hands if the opportunity presents itself. Playing toward these hands can give enough chips to save a joker slot and synergize with jokers that do not work well with pairs. For example, you can reliably get value from Lucky Cat, Business Card, and the Suit Jokers without re-triggers or Oops All Sixes. Being able to use a single hand works well against boss blinds like the Needle, the Arm, and the Eye, though large hands are not without their own counters. The Dagger can work well with pair spam, but it gives you the opportunity to use other hand types. Building a run around a shop-dependent joker requires a lot of decision-making, but these decisions exist because the shop offers many opportunities for scaling the Dagger. Card slots in the shop give you more agency over how you wish to scale your Dagger. Sacrificing a rental gives you +2 mult, which is not much, but 2 mult for $1 is very efficient, especially compared to the red card, which at its most efficient gives 3 mult for $2. Speaking of cost efficiency, it's better to buy jokers with an even price because the sell value will round down by $1 if you buy one with an odd price. There is another way to get more mult per dollar from jokers, and that's the Buffoon Pack. Buffoon Packs give a choice of random jokers for a base cost of $4, $6, or $8. Jumbo and Mega Packs alike hold 4 joker cards, unlike the $4 packs that only hold 2. Like the red card, the Dagger can serve as a consolation prize if your pack gives you a joker that doesn't otherwise add to your build. If you find something like Hit the Road on an abandoned deck run, you can get +8 mult from a $4 pack. The sell value will not show on jokers found on the Buffoon Pack, so you either need to have perfect memory of sell values, or just use the wiki on another tab, preferably not the fandom one though. Finding a sacrificial lamb is easy, even on Black Stake and above, because jokers have a much higher chance of appearing than planet and tarot cards, with a base probability of roughly 71% per slot. Rerolls are unlimited, Buffoon Packs are not exceptionally uncommon, and you only need 1 per shop at most. However, finding a joker to delete is easier than consistently finding enough sacrifices to beat anti-8. There will be eternal jokers that block you from Dagger utility. You might not find Buffoon Packs, and rerolls cost money. The economic downside is the only real drawback of the shop-based jokers, but it is a significant one that makes the 2 types of scaling jokers balanced. Buying jokers that give game-changing numbers of mult, even without rerolls, can easily cut into your interest. Cost efficiency will help you win runs, but there is also raw scoring to keep in mind. Destroying jokers with higher sell prices to get more mult is optimal when you have a decent economy. For score maximization, you will be looking for non-rental jokers, jokers of higher rarities, and jokers with additions. There is a positive correlation between price and rarity, and all legendaries have a sell price of $10, but they are extremely rare, can only be found in Spectral and Arcana packs, and might not be worth the 20 additional mult. Foils are worth an extra $2, holographics are an extra $3, and both polychromes and negatives are worth an extra $5. Because jokers are destroyed only once per shop, you will have to make the most out of your sacrifices. My best advice when debating between raw score and cost efficiency is to consider when you need mult or money. 40 extra mult from your joker and maybe some planet scaling is usually enough to get you past the 400,000 score requirement of anti-8 on Gold Stake, not counting the nefarious Violet Vessel, in which case you would need to find these guys or some quick X mult. Your plus mult gets diminishing returns quickly, so sacrificing a legendary joker, for example, will increase your mult more than tenfold if you're playing pairs and haven't used any Mercuries. But sacrificing a legendary will only effectively multiply your score by 1.5 times if you already have, say, 40 mult between your hand levels and the Dagger. A 50% score increase can be game-changing in the later antes, mind you, but an extra 50% is far less than 1,100%. Just like with any other joker, the Ceremonial Dagger has its synergies.
Oh! Photo chat! I love photo chat! Get the vampire, you have Midas Mask! Get the Midas Mask!
Streamer, you should hack your Wii! Hack your Wii, streamer!
Synergies are fun and exciting, but I've forgotten what both emotions feel like after 100 hours of Gold Stake. The most obvious synergy with the Dagger is to sacrifice Northern Lion to the Cult of Mult. It's an egg synergy that works way better than the Swashbuckler one. The egg works really well with the Dagger because you can hold on to both while picking up temperances if you have tarot generators or luck. This strategy works so that you can sacrifice the egg when the anti-scaling is getting overwhelming, while retaining the option to sell the egg if you find other jokers to scale the dagger. There's also the gift card, but it's one of the greatest econ jokers and doesn't need synergy to work well. The slight increase in scaling for a joker on the chopping block is nothing compared to the raw power of the gift card with the full joker roster, even on painted deck. There are situations where it is better to sell these econ jokers, just as there will be situations where they get clip farmed for molt. Riffraff, my personal favorite joker, is another synergistic joker because it can give up to 2 commons and they can have additions for some extra sell value. Also, you can pull the egg from Riffraff. I do enjoy finding the synergy, but the amount of molt you get per sacrifice is limited due to the low sell value of commons. As previously mentioned, additions increase the sell value of jokers. There is the synergy of Hone and Glow Up, which increase the chance of finding additions on all cards. This synergy works well with Buffoon packs because of their fixed price, but do you really want to spend $10 or even $20 on such a small synergy? Clearance sale and liquidation get in the way of scaling, because these vouchers reduce the sell price of cards. When I'm stuck with a dagger run, I avoid these vouchers until I am done scaling, but there are many runs in which I skip the clearance sale. Zodiac deck may appear to function poorly with a dagger because it starts with Tarot and Planet Merchant, but Overstock nullifies the downside of jokers being less likely to appear in the shop per card slot. That being said, the Planet and Tarot Merchant vouchers do not synergize with the dagger, but the functionality of tarot cards may easily outweigh the negative synergy. As for Planet Merchant, that voucher is weak for most builds, including ones that do not rely on finding numerous jokers. There is one odious quality about the Ceremonial Dagger that I have largely ignored, and it is time that I address the elephant in the room. One trait that makes the dagger so hated, other than every other reason it sucks, including deleting all of your X-Molt by accident, is the need for an open joker slot to even scale the dagger. Why do I bring this up so late? It's because of the interaction with Black Deck. There's the obvious synergy in that it lessens the need for open joker slots, but that is hardly a downside in practice for most decks. There are many runs where the 5th joker slot isn't even needed, even on decks other than painted deck. Furthermore, this is a plus mult scaling joker. The diminishing returns you get by the time you get a full joker roster means that you will likely be looking for multiplicative scaling. Black Deck's extra joker slot rarely comes into use on winning runs, yet oddly enough, Black Deck is the best use case for the dagger. Ceremonial Dagger doesn't benefit from using Black Deck. Black Deck benefits from using Ceremonial Dagger. This unlikely duo makes each other less awful. The extra joker slot is nice, of course, but the real appeal to the dagger is how its hand independence interacts with the Black Deck. There's more to a hand-agnostic joker than I led you on to believe. Grimbo, Red Bus, and Supernova lose up to an entire mult for every blind. Losing one hand is a 25% debuff to your scaling, and you can't even spam hands as easily either, because you score so much less. You know what joker allows you to make a build that needs only one hand per blind? The dagger. The worst joker ever just so happens to be good with the worst deck ever. If you multiply 2 negatives, you get a positive. Red Card, another shop-based plus mult joker, scales so quickly most people probably don't pay attention to its hand versatility. But they should! These jokers are so much faster when you're playing Black Deck or have to use the hieroglyph. After all of my hours of playing Balatro instead of talking to women, I finally found a decent use case for the dagger that makes it competitive with other similar jokers. But honestly, Red Card is still probably better. Maybe the best plus mult scaling joker overall. I don't really believe in best jokers or worst jokers because Balatro is balanced so well that it is nothing short of amazing. But some jokers are more versatile and are more likely to scale quickly. I will admit that the parameta is pervasive, but there's still plenty of seeds and decks that will be more effective with some of the weaker and more annoying jokers. That's why the game never gets boring. For as fun as it is to hate on your least favorite joker, it can save you a few runs even if you don't want to admit it.